everyone, I am Stephanie and have been a professional artist for over a decade. In today's video I will be reviewing block 3 of the online oil painting course Evolve. You may want to check out my reviews of block 1 and 2. I will be putting the links to those videos in the description box below. Now this video is sponsored by Evolve, so thank you Evolve, but I am also completely free to give my own opinion. In very short, Evolve is an online course that teaches you classical realism using oils and without any solvents. You have courses and exercises, and real actual teachers will get back to you for every exercise, providing help, insight and ways to improve your painting. You will also get all the materials needed that are provided with the course. But first, let's unbox the second box of this course, which provides the materials for block 3 and 4. So this is the second box from Evolve that I receive, and it's going to be for block 3 and 4. UPS made me cut out my address. I haven't opened it yet, so let's check out what is inside. So I'm expecting colors, and I'm very excited about colors because I'm very sick about the gray and black. So first we have some titanium white, Old Holland, very good brand of oils. I have enjoyed using them, although I don't have a lot of comparison to do, and I'm expecting this all maybe to be oils. So yeah, that's quite a lot. So let's see what we have. Oh yes. So we have ultramarine blue, which makes sense. Scheveningen blue, light blue, which let's check out. Okay, so it's phthalo blue basically with a bit of white. Okay, so that way you have phthalo blue that is opaque, because phthalo blue is a pigment that is transparent. Then we have permanent green, which is, yeah, phthalo green. A bit of yellow, a bit of ultramarine blue and some white. Okay, so reds, nice. So we have some yellow, also Scheveningen yellow. I'm guessing that's like the special name of that brand. I've never seen it before, and I vaguely recall it in their watercolors, which I've never tried, but yeah, anyway. So what is it? Okay, so it's PY74. They don't have a light fastness rating on the tubes. They probably have it on their website though. Then Scheveningen red, which is PR112, which I think is one of the naphthol reds, but I would have to check out. It's not, those two are not pigments that I usually have in my palette, but okay. I mean, we all have our favorite pigments, I think that's quite okay. PR83 is, yeah, it's actually alizarin crimson, and it's known for being not very light fast. So I know it's one of those historic pigments, but there are much better pigments, so I would never buy that one specifically. I see the paper here is painted, so this has just unglued, but that's not really a problem. So you actually see how the paint looks. So we have some English red, also kind of classic, PR101. Then some burnt umber, which is PBR7, and some Mars black, which is PBK. I don't know why there's an L, but it's PBK11. Okay, I did not expect that type of colors. So these are colors that I feel like you can easily mix. So we have some yellow-green, which looks nice and is a mixture of PG36. I love PG36. It's probably my favorite phthalo green. It's the yellow shade phthalo green. It's great in mixes. And PY3 and a little bit of nickel titanate, which is PY53. PY53 is a sort of off-white color. I don't have it myself, but it's an interesting color. And then we have some Naples Yellow Extra. This is such a classical color that many people have, mostly because it's practical for skin tones, and we actually have 2 of it. But it's a color that I never use. I'm curious how they're going to use it. Basically, it's PY42, so it's ochre, or sort of ochre, and some white. So it's easy to mix by yourself. I mean, ochre, I feel like ochre is probably more versatile than that, because you always have white usually, and so you just need ochre. So yeah, Not really a selection of colors that I would have bought, but it's always interesting to learn with color selections from others. So from all of these, I don't even use mask black. I usually go for lamp black, but yeah, black is fine. I love black. If you know my work a little bit, I do have black backgrounds all the time. So yeah, I personally, from all these, I would like, yeah, those three, no worries. I know I use them all the time, but I would replace these with other pigments. I never really use browns, but that's just me personally, and I prefer having mono pigments in general. So it's nothing wrong with this color, it's just not necessarily what I would have picked. Apart from like this one, I feel like PR83, and I know I'm getting this course for free, so to speak, or not for free because I'm making the videos, but I feel like this is really, I get really annoyed when brands put this pigment PR83 in their sets, because it's known to be not fugitive, but not the most light fast reds. And nowadays we have so many reds. We have mostly pyrrole reds and quinacridone reds that are much more light fast. Modern pigments, they're not excessively expensive, and if you don't mind cadmiums, those are also very light fast unless you work outside, but this one is known to not be the most light fast red, and it's actually that pigment specifically is why we have all the light fastness craziness around it, and that everything is you know, noted. So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in that one, I cannot lie. I don't mind all the rest. Again, not colors that I would have picked personally. But yeah, that one I'm like, And I hate it because it's like in most manuals, you always get that pigment. I mean, there are other pigments, okay? Yeah, sure, it's an historical pigment. It's a lovely color, I'm not going to lie. But it's just, you know, it's just a red, and it's not that great, and it's easily replaceable. So yeah, apart from that, I'm sorry I got off on a rant, but yeah, I'm just very frustrated by that specific pigment. Anyway, many colors, and it means also that I'm finally going to be able to paint in colors and not black and white, so that's great. Then we have some new brushes. I mean, I haven't even... That's a lot of brushes, to be honest. The brushes that I got from the first two blocks, I used 3 of them, so I still have a lot. So maybe people are not very careful about brushes. And I have learned to be very careful with brushes, so I don't trash them unless I work on my sculptures. But yeah, and then we have some new brushes. This here, I've actually never really used it. I know that brush, it's a fan brush, but yeah, I've never really used it. I'm curious to see how they're going to make us use it. And then the brush that I personally use the most in general are these round brushes, round, slightly pointed brushes. I tend to work only with that and flat brushes in my own work. So yeah, we'll see how we use that. Then we have some... Oh, it's primed in grey, interesting. So we're going to work from pictures again, but they're black and white, so I wonder. Well, we'll see how it goes. The prompts, more pictures. Ah, yes, colors, my loves. Oh god, I'm so eager to work with colors again, you have no idea. Honestly, working in black and white is torture for someone like me. Okay, so yeah, many pictures. The disposable paper palette, you just throw it away every time. And then what we have is canvas pad. Okay, so it's another brand from last time, but it's basically the same that the grayish one, only I expect it's white. I'm not going to open it right now, but it looks white, and we have 2 of them. So yeah, exciting. We're going to do a lot of work, a lot of new and colored work, which I'm looking forward to. Let's just quickly peek at the most difficult picture, because I'm curious. Usually it's the last one. Okay, always with the weird sculptures. I wonder if the background is going to be painted as well. I expect yes. Okay then, this should be interesting. Block 3 is focused on color mixing, and the lessons are a combination of working from their provided photographs and working from life with your own compositions. Now, you first start by focusing only on the color mixing for the parts in the lights, leaving the shadows in gray in order to simplify the learning process, especially color mixing. Now, color mixing can be a little bit tricky for people who are starting with it, so I understand the need of deconstructing like that, but I must admit it was a bit frustrating to leave the shadows in grays and not use colors for them. So that was a bit complex. Honestly, sometimes it can be a bit frustrating for more advanced painters like myself to deconstruct and simplify the painting process quite that much. But at the same time, I think it's a good exercise because it's really easy to get lost into details. And I know for myself, I love working on details. It's what I find most fun. And so if you have someone who says, no, this is how we're going to deconstruct the painting, then it quite helps you to not make major value mistakes. So I feel like the way Evolve is built is pretty smart and it makes a lot of sense, but you just have to kind of, sometimes just follow the rules and take it upon yourself. I actually read in forums, it was not about this course, but it was about a course of realism, and the student was a bit complaining about how tight it was. And so some other fellows of the forum were telling him, well, your first painting looked really great already, and they were kind of taking his side against that teacher, but I think the teacher was right. It's just when you're in a realism course, you have a certain goal of realism, of getting the values right, of getting the shadows right, the line work, and the color mixing. And so you really have to approach it. You really have to approach these courses as exercises and studies. You're not going to make masterpieces during these courses. This is not what they are meant for. They're really meant to make you comfortable with a new medium, with realism, using your brush correctly, and so on, values, color mixing. So something that you really have to keep in mind when following exercises, because honestly, sometimes it can be a bit frustrating to work on the same apple or the same pear or, the same objects over and over again. But it's because you repeat the same color mixes, you repeat the same shapes, that then it's a lot easier and a lot faster. Now, for instance, when I started block 3, I would take maybe 40 minutes to mix all my colors, and at the end I would do them in maybe 15 minutes just because I got used to it. Now, I have never had much issues with color mixing, but still, the fact that you have to exercise and repeat the exercises and go over the studies over and over again, this practice is really going to help you get better at it. Basically, the way Evolve is built, it's pretty straightforward. You have lessons to watch on the websites, and each lesson is followed by an exercise, a study in oil painting. Now, you have less lessons than exercises. So usually you're going to have one big lesson where Kevin is going to talk to you for maybe an hour. It kind of depends, and explain, what you have to do and how to mix colors or how to evaluate values, lights, etc. And then you're going to have an exercise, and then you're going to have several exercises on that specific lesson. So you really have the time to make mistakes, to readjust, and so on. Because every time you make an exercise, you send it into Evolve, and then you have teachers who are going to look over your work and then help you out, basically. So they will check if the composition, or not the composition, if your drawing was accurate, so if you made a good job at replicating the photograph or your own composition, then of course the color mixing, if that's right, the values and so on, and then they will tell you, well, that could be better, that's great, I would like you to take more of your time to do this specific step of your painting and so on. So the whole process really eases you into oil painting and really kind of encourages you to just, you know, do the studies one after the other and to build up confidence with your brush strokes, etc. And your color mixing, obviously. And I feel like even though sometimes it seems like a lot of oil studies, in practice it's really great to take your time, because you just get naturally better at it without doing a lot of effort, if that makes sense. Now, it's also super easy to get in contact with the team and a teacher for one-on-one help if you need that. And honestly, they're always super friendly and supportive. I've been using them for a year now. Now, the whole course can be done in a year, but I've had a lot of work, so I'm a bit late on schedule. But yeah, they're super helpful and supportive and really nice. So I feel like it's an environment where you feel safe to make mistakes and also safe to progress. Yeah, so I really like that about them. And then, since it's a course about realism, you have to remember it can get a little bit boring at times, because you're going to do studies that are not, you have no personal interest in them. Like most of the photographs, I don't really care about these specific photographs. So I tend to focus on the colors, and if I like certain colors, I enjoy it a lot more. But yeah, basically you have to kind of work your way through to achieve certain technical skills. So there's no really other ways in art than to go through at least a little phase of realism, just because it's a lot easier to critique realism than it is to critique abstract art. Because with realism, it's a bit like math. Either you got it right or you got it wrong. So at least, you know, you have a photograph, you have a composition, you do the line work, the color mixing, and so on. And once you got it right, you learn technical skills about that. And after that, you can do whatever you want once you have those skills. And I feel like this is something that is very important, and it's often missing in Europe, at least. There are many European art schools that are very focused on concept, theme, and, you know, statement in art. And I feel like this is crucial as a more advanced artist. But as a beginner, I feel like skills are the most important, because once you have skills, you can do whatever you want. As a matter of fact, when I got into watercolors, and if you know my work or if you know me, you know I really love working with watercolors now. But when I started, I was really awful at it, and it was kind of difficult. I didn't know how to start, and I didn't for years really tackle it until one day I decided to make daily insect studies. And I feel like Evolve is like exactly that. It's like you are forced to make studies daily if you can, or weekly, but you have to go through those studies. And because you make that effort to do the studies, to do the practice, to do the work, you are going to improve in your practice, but without much effort. In art, it's kind of interesting, because usually it's like suddenly there's a click in your brain and you understand it. Suddenly you see the color better, or you understand value better or how to lay the paint down onto your canvas. And it's only through practice that you can do that. Basically, that's what Evolve helps you with, and with those dedicated teachers. So honestly, even though I was a bit complaining about the color choices in the box they sent, and I stand by that, it's colors that I would never buy myself. And as a matter of fact, I actually bought some other colors. I'm still using their colors for the studies because I don't care for those pigments. But when it comes to my own artwork, and I've done a few studies, I prefer using the pigments I trust and that I prefer. Apart from that very slight disappointment, I would still highly recommend this course, because honestly without them I would not even be thinking of doing oil studies or oil paintings, whereas now I already have plans for a series of artworks with oils. I'm really invested in oils again. I'm very eager to work more on them. And sometimes you need the support of a class of teachers to help you out, because life can get a little busy and sometimes you want to try a new medium but you don't get to do it because life happens. So in that regard, I'm really happy that I got the opportunity to take that course, because I enjoy painting with oils and I wouldn't have if I didn't take that course. Block 4 is going to be next. I am not quite sure how long it's going to take me because I have a solo show. I'm also going to Australia finally, for those of you who follow me along in my journey and my vlogs. So yeah, this is a done deal. I still have a lot of other projects and group shows. I'm really excited actually about block 4, because once I finish block 4 I feel I'm going to feel confident enough to work on my own artworks in oils. Honestly, oils are super fun. The colors are gorgeous. There's something really lush about oil paintings. I've been enjoying it a lot. I really hope you found this review helpful. I tried to be as honest about it as possible, so you really understand what you're getting into. If you stayed until the end, thank you so much. Leave a paint or rainbow emoji so I know that you actually watched and listened to the end. It really encourages me when I get those little emojis, to be honest, because I feel like, okay, at least I have some people who watch until the end and who enjoy my content. It really motivates me to make more videos and more content. So yeah, thank you for that, guys, and I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!